Hey friends, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites. Today we have a video that I think many people who are looking for a daily planner and they're looking at these higher end planners online. These two are two of the top brands of daily planners online. All right, now you can go into Target and you can find a few daily planners or an Office Max, Office Depot, but they are not going to be these higher end ones with the better paper and just amazing covers. And so you do have those cheaper options to go look at. But these are the two main bigger brands of daily planners. There are tons of other planner companies that do make, well, I wouldn't say tons. There are several other planner companies that do make a daily option. These are just two of the bigger ones that are very similar, and I wanted to do a comparison on them. We have Ley Daily Simplified Planner. This is the 2017 calendar year. Then we have the Day Designer. This is the 2018 calendar year that I was just sent. Because right now we're still in August of 2017. And I gave away my Day Designer 2017 that I had in a giveaway. So I was very glad to get this 2018 one so we could do a good comparison video for you guys. Okay, so I want to go over some of the basic specs. You can already see the Day Designer is bigger, so let's go over how big they are. The Day Designer also has a mini option though. They call it the mini. Okay, so Day Designer, this one is $59. Ley is $58. So the price is pretty much comparable. This size of the Day Designer is their bigger size. The pages are 7 by 3 and 9 by 5. But the cover, and I'm getting this off their website, is 9 by 9.75. So you add in a little bit more there with adding the cover. But their pages are 7.3 by 9.5. Ley is 7 by 9, but I am pretty sure that's her cover. She doesn't lay out what the pages are. Yeah, that's her cover for sure. So her pages are going to be smaller, of course. Let's get a good. They're really 6 by 8.5. So Ley's pages, if you're looking at page size, Ley's are 6 by 8.5, and Day Designer pages are 7.3 by 9.5. So if you want a bigger book, you are getting more space per day in the Day Designer. And this is kind of what they look laid on top of each other with their rings matching up. So you guys can see the difference there. So when you open up to the page, you'll see that you definitely notice a difference in writing room on the page. Now, as far as weight goes, the Day Designer feels a lot heavier to me, but that's because it's bigger. Ley's feels lighter. The Day Designer does have their weight on their site saying it's 2.1 pounds for this big one. Now the mini Day Designer, which I don't have to compare, is their page is 6 by 8.1 of the mini size. 6 by 8.1. So since we figured out Ley's was 6, I remember that was 6 by 8.1, the Day Designer is just going to come in a teeny bit shorter. So if you wanted the mini Day Designer, the pages are just going to be a teeny bit shorter in length. So it's a little bit less of a rectangle and more like a square in the mini Day Designer. So the mini Day Designer is closest to the Ley size, and it is only $49. Let me make sure I have that right. Yes. So it is $10 cheaper. And it's almost as big as the Ley, coming in right past there. So I don't have that mini size, but I wanted to let you guys know about that. Okay, about paper. Ley's paper is 70 pound. That equates to 104 GSM. I looked that up because Day Designer gives you the GSM. Their paper is 90 GSM. So Ley's equates to 104 GSM with her 70 pound paper. So, you know, she's a little bit more, but not a huge difference in the paper there. And I will show you how the pens work in both. So let's go over, let's just start with covers. Okay, they're both very hard chipboards. Okay, they're both very good quality chipboards. They both have the gold corner edges here. Day Designer has a matte gold ring. Emily Ley's from last year has this really matte, almost bronze gold ring, but her new one for 2018 has a bright gold, a shiny gold. Okay, so they're very similar in that and that they both use O-rings. Their covers are hard. Both their covers are beautiful. But if I was hard pressed to pick, I would always say Emily Ley's covers are just like the most beautiful planner covers out there. I always love her covers. And this is my third Emily Ley daily to have in my life and use. I have used her even before my planner channel. So I love her covers. You can see the gold foiling on here, which just makes it amazingly beautiful. And I just don't think anything beats her covers. But Day Designer has more cover choices than Emily Ley, and they are beautiful too. They are beautiful. That's the way the back looks. Okay, but when you give me navy and like green and gold, like navy and gold are like my favorite, and these other colors thrown in here. In fact, this is my favorite Emily Ley cover of all my other two. I didn't keep my other two because I wasn't doing a planner channel then, but I wish I would have. I think I had the white pineapple before this one, and then I think I had her happy stripe before that. But out of those three, this has been my favorite. Okay, out of how do the rings function? Emily Ley's rings function the best. Out of any planner with O rings, Emily Ley's rings function 100% perfectly, and I have put them through brutal daily tests. I will tell you, I even pick up her planner constantly by one middle ring. That's why it's further out than all the others. Like when I pick it up to flip it, because I leave it flipped open, like to the day I'm on, like this, like on my table. And then when I want to pick it up to flip it to look anywhere else or to go further in the days or whatever, or to flip it open, I'm always picking it up by that one ring. It still never gets out of groove. Just never. It flows seamlessly. I'm not sure what she does with her O-rings because none of my other O-ring planners quite work this seamlessly. Get to Workbook is a second runner-up. It flows pretty much almost perfectly, seamlessly like this. But my InkWells never flow this seamlessly. I have two InkWells. None of them flow that seamlessly. And Day Designer doesn't flow that seamlessly. It works fine, but you kind of have to work it. It's not that perfect, seamless, whip it open. Like her O-rings work as well as like the coiled planners as far as how smooth it goes. Okay, so let's get into this. They both have a pocket in the front. Day Designer's is right here. And then Day Designer has like a cover page to protect their planner. And then they have a page for you to put your name and my word for the year. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm not sure how we're going to do these side by side, but okay, Simplified Planner has a little pocket too. They're both really similar in that they seem really well made, but I mean, they're pretty tight. You can't fit in like huge amounts of paper, but you can fit in papers that you need there. Then this is her cover page where you put your name. Okay, and then they both have kind of like welcome pages from their creators, from the women. So Whitney English created Day Designer, and Emily Ley created, of course, Emily Ley Simplified Planner. So you have a letter from each of them in here. And then you're both going to go into their pages where it explains about their planner. So how to use Day Designer and then how to use your Simplified Planner, the process of simplifying, okay? And then after that in the Simplified Planner, you get your 2017 overview. But you have some more in Day Designer than just that. Not only how to use Day Designer, then it goes into my reality check page. Then it goes into my core page to try to tell what are your core values. So this is a lot more goal setting stuff in the front than Emily Ley has if you want this for your life. If not, you can ignore it and not use it. My goals are outlined here. My plan, turning goals into intentions. Ideal month layout and ideal week by time. What do you want your week to look like? Then you have Day Designer's 12-month overview. So this is what that looks like. Their 12-month overview takes up 2 pages. And Emily Ley's only takes up just 1 page for your 12-month overview. Okay, and then you're going to start right into both planners. You have a January tab right on this overview right here. And you're going to go right into the month of January. This is what January looks like in Day Designer. Because it's a little bit bigger, you seem to have plenty of room in your boxes. And here is a big, huge difference Day Designer from Day Designer of many planners. They have a Monday start on their monthly calendar. So Saturday and Sunday are grouped together here, and Saturday and Sunday have these really light gray diagonal lines going across the boxes, if you can see that there, to kind of block out your weekend. So it does look different from the week Monday through Friday. Day Designer puts in your holidays written here at the bottom. Theirs is all in gray print, and they flag every holiday. I do like that because it really makes the holidays stand out. I like that a lot. And then you have your notes section on the left side from Day Designer. So let's look at Emily Ley's layout here. Now, unfortunately, I've scribbled a lot in January. I didn't really use my monthly layouts in here, so I scribbled my family's Girl Scout cookie order down here in January from my mom, my sister, and I, so I could give it to who we were ordering from. So that's what that is. But let's compare the calendars. So Emily Ley, you do have less room because it's a smaller planner, and she uses a really big space for a header up top. In fact, let me show you like February or somewhere I haven't scribbled so much so you can kind of see about the header. Okay, let's go to here. So there's a really big header in Emily Ley. I feel like I would rather the header be smaller and not even include your last month and your next month. And I would rather the header be a lot smaller and give me more room in the boxes. But that's because you guys know I'm big, I write big, and I like more room. That's just my preference. You have notes on the left side the same way. Now, Emily Ley's calendar is a Sunday start, which is the way the majority of monthly calendars are in planners. So that is something to note. Emily Ley assigns each month a color, and whatever color that tab is, that's going to be what color that month is written in up there also. Now, here's a time you can see when seeing through the paper. You can see my writing on the other side. You can even see lines in Emily Ley's. Let's just talk about this before we get into our daily pages. So in Emily Ley's, like I said, let's reference this so I get it right. She had 70-pound paper, which is 104 GSM. It's Mohawk Via white paper. Now, you can see here, I've not written on the back of this page. We haven't got to this time in the year yet. But you can just see her lines for the next calendar month, for December, the calendar, monthly calendar, on the other side there. Her paper feels really thick. It feels thicker than Day Designer, and it is thicker by GSM, and it feels like really thick, really nice paper with a really nice tooth. But I have always had a see-through and ghosting problem with her planner. That is really my only complaint with Emily Ley. She really makes a quality product, and the paper feels like quality, but I'm not sure why when it's 104 GSM, where it must just be what kind of paper it is, because my Passion Planner is only 100 GSM, and you can't see through it like that. So it just has to be like what type of paper it is. That's what I've decided, because you can see through to the lines to the other day, even though I haven't written there. And we'll just get this all out right now. Now, I have heard a rumor that her 2018 planner has better paper, but on her site, it's listed as the exact same pound as last year. So unless she changed like the type of paper, and last year it was Mohawk Via also, but unless the type of paper got changed from last year, then it's the same weight, the same pound, and the same company. So I just kind of want to show you where I've written in. Like you can see right here. This was with a Le Pen, which used to be her favorite pen to write in her planner with, she said. Now she's changed since she's done all these pen tests with Pilot. I think she's found a new Pilot pen. But Le Pen Used to be her favorite pen to write in her planner with, so I got one because I thought, well, if it's her favorite pen, then it must do well in her planner. But when you look at that month, you can see how much it shows through. And for the price of this planner, when I'm paying $60 for a planner, and usually to Texas, my shipping is always $13, I just don't want to spend that kind of money when I can see through, because that doesn't make me excited to come and write on this month. So you guys can see that, what I'm talking about. Let's see if there's somewhere else. Oh, let's find the last, because this is what I'm, sorry guys. All right. So I wanted to find like the last page I kind of wrote on here so you could see. Let's see, let's turn this over. So like when I'm turning over to a fresh start on Monday, the last page I wrote in, that's what it's going to look like. So this is a lot better than a Le Pen. This is actually a Pilot G2. So it's a lot better, but you can still see through. So the ghosting for the price does bother me, even though the paper looks and feels really good. Okay, what is she changing for next year? Let's go into Emily Ley's daily and talk about that since we're here. In 2018, she's not going to have a quote up here on every day anymore. Right now, she has a daily quote. She is going to have it blank up here because that's kind of like your header for the day. So you could write anything you want, like first day of school or someone's birthday. And her quote is not on holidays. Let's see if I can find one of those. On holidays, she's taken out the quote anyway this year. And she has written in the holiday. But that doesn't really matter to you guys since she's changing it for 2018. And you guys are going to all be buying 2018. But here's like for October 31st Halloween, she just read in Halloween. And it matches the color of that day. Each one of her days gets assigned a color and it stays consistently that color through the entire planner. So I will go through that color, those colors for you. Let's start here. Monday is navy. Tuesday is this really pretty teal blue. Wednesday is like a lighter, like cyan blue. Thursday is it like a Kelly green. Friday is a yellow, but next year she switched Friday to an orange because people were saying, you know, yellow is very hard to see, because she also writes her to-dos and her my day for every day in the color of that day, and yellow is very hard to see. So her yellow is going to be orange next year. And then a very light pink, which is also very light because you can barely see my day and to do right there. And then Sunday is a hot pink. Okay, so we are going to compare the daily spreads in these. So this is a good place to go because I haven't written in it. And let's go compare the daily spreads. We've looked at the monthly. Let's go just somewhere in the middle here. Okay, but let's start on a Monday. Day Designer has no color. All her tabs are gold, metallic gold. So if you like a more subdued look, Day Designer has more subdued covers too, like just like a black and white stripe. So if you want it to look like office appropriate, then this might look more like that for you. Okay, so here's what your 2 pages look like. You can obviously tell you have a lot more page real estate in Day Designer. Emily Ley, both of them have timed slots on your left side. Day Designer goes from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Emily Ley goes from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, Day Designer has a lot more to her page. Emily Ley just has my day and your time slots, and then to do and little circles to check off your to-dos, and then you have dinner, which for 2018 she wrote meals there instead. To make it less specific, she wrote meals, and then notes. So you can use those boxes for whatever you want. So her page is very simple, and like I said, next year will not have a quote on every page. It will be blank there for a header of whatever you want to write for the day. Okay, and many of you know I have used Emily Ley for several years for like my daily to-do list. I still use a weekly planner, so I use a daily in conjunction with a weekly planner. Okay, Day Designer has their date written really small at the top. It has Monday, June 11th, 2018, the whole thing. She has a quote on every page. Every page. Then she has a top 3 for every day, which if you guys have followed me for any period of time, you know I'm a big fan of that. So I like her top 3. Here we have 4 little boxes: do, dinner, dollars, don't forget. Now, I personally am not sure if I would make use of those boxes. I will let you guys know. I'm definitely going to try to use this and test it out when 2018 comes for my daily to-do list. So I will definitely be reporting to you guys about that. So, I mean, if you have a bill or anything else that's due that day, dinner, you could scribble in what you're having for dinner, dollars spent that day, and don't forget. The don't forget is good because sometimes there's just like one thing for that day you just can't forget. And if you like have it there and I would like highlight it or circle it, then it would really help me. So then you have your today and you have your 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. down, and you have your to-dos with little check boxes. And then Day Designer has a notes box and a daily gratitude tiny little box here. So that's what Day Designer page looks like compared to Emily Ley's. All right, let's go. And I will show you, before I forget, before we go to the weekend pages, I picked a day in May here and I did a pen test. I need to find it. In the video that I did a video of just Day Designer. If you like want more details about just Day Designer, I did a video of just this. There's also a video of just Emily Ley if you want more details on just the Emily Ley planner. And I will link both of these websites below down in my description box if you want to find them and click link to there. Okay, so I tried all my pens in the Day Designer because I've already showed you in Emily Ley. And since her paper is actually thinner, I thought they would show through worse. But actually, because it's just the type of paper it is, it's just not as see-through paper. Even though it's not as thick as Emily Ley's in the GSM count, and it doesn't feel as thick, but the pens show through less. So that's just something where I'm saying it has to be the type of paper picked, because that's the only way I can explain it. Okay, but I want you guys to completely know about all that. Oh, and we will look at Saturday and Sunday, how they're grouped. But before I forget, Emily Ley has no note pages in hers. Her 2018 does come with a new sticker sheet that they are offering. You can see that on her site. So that's new for 2018. It comes in with a sticker sheet hooked in it. But she has no note pages in between months or at the end of the year or anywhere in here. There's no note pages. Day Designer only has note pages if your month day ends on the left side. Then she gives you a note page that looks like this with 3 blank header boxes at the top and 3 header columns, which you could just use to write straight across, of course. But only when your month ends on this side do you get this note page thrown in, and then the very next page it's tabbed is the next month. Let me find one where it's not and I'll show you. Okay, so here in June, it ends on this side. Actually, the weekend ends on June 30th and July 1st. So you get no note page in this month, and it just starts. It's your tab is on that page, and the tabbed pages in Day Designer are a little bit thicker. They're like cardstock, and your tab is on there. Emily Ley's pages, where her tab is, the page is not any thicker. It's the same paper, but it is held up perfectly. I don't think she needs to change that. It's held up perfectly over all the years I've used it and worked perfectly for me. Okay, so now that we're on to the weekend page, so you have a few of those note pages scattered throughout Day Designer just from where the month ends. Like August, you don't get one. Let's see. Okay, you get one here at the end of August, though, going into September. So it just depends on how the month ends. Let's talk about how they've each chosen to do their weekend pages, because this is the other big difference. All right, so here's a weekend in both of them. Let's look at this. Emily Ley has split her weekend horizontally, Saturday, Sunday. Day Designer has split her weekend Saturday, Sunday, vertically. So we're going to look close up at each one. Okay, Emily Ley took away the hours completely on the weekend. So you know how hours are on her left side here. On the weekend, she took away the hours. she gives you a separate date and your separate color for each week and day. You won't have the quote next year in 2018. She just gives you a My Day, some blank lines, and then a to-do and your to-do check-off boxes. For Sunday, she gives you a bigger header space here because she writes in a happy memory from this week. She wants you to be able to use this space to think of a happy memory from that week. I like that idea. And then, like I said, when she has a holiday or something big to note, like daylight savings time ends, it matches the color of that day. I love that. All right. And then on Sunday, she has the My Day like Saturday, but Sunday is different. She doesn't just give you the to-do like Saturday. She gives you a weekly prep. And she puts in 4 weekly prep tasks for you. So you have very little room left here for like other tasks on Sunday. So it just gives you less writing room on Sunday. Some people love having these tasks pre-typed in here every week. Me personally, I'd rather have the blank lines for me to write on. But she writes, plan meals for the week ahead, tidy up for a clean slate on Monday, write tasks, appointments for the week, and fill your tank, enjoy what matters most. Okay, so that is Emily Ley. Day Designer, she splits it, like I said, vertically. So you have a to-do, like your top 3s at the top. You have your date combined at the top. It says Saturday and Sunday, June 30th through July 1st, 2018. You still have a quote, even on the weekend there. And then you have Saturday and Sunday from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. So it's all hourly, but you wouldn't have to use it hourly. If you want to use those as checkoff boxes, I mean, just like your to-do list, that's exactly what I would be doing personally. And then I like this in Day Designer, you get the next week looking ahead. You get each day written out small down there in a box, so you could put your appointments or anything big coming up down there, and that could really help you with your future planning for the next week. So that is how they are both different. They set up their weekends very differently. Day Designer, you can get in this bigger size, or their mini, which is just like that much shorter than Emily Ley. So their mini is just going to take some off the bottom there from the measurements that we looked at. And then you have the daily again, how it looks. You have a lot less boxes to fill in on Emily Ley. You have a lot more color in Emily Ley. You have more structure with boxes if you're someone who wants to keep track of the don't forget, the dinner, the do, the dollars, the top 3. And if you want more room, you have the option to get the bigger Day Designer. So those are all the main, really the main differences. They both end with no note pages. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Day Designer has 1 note page at the end. So it ends on December 31st, 2018. That's your last day, and on the back you get a note page. And then just kind of like your blank end page. Okay, and you have no pocket at the back, the pocket's at the front. Emily Ley has no note pages in between, and how it ends is December 31st on a Sunday. It just ends. The back of the page is blank. Of course, you could fill that in. I just stuck some sticky notes back there, but even the back of her cover is pretty. It says her slogan, a standard of grace, not perfection. And that's it, guys. Those are the main differences between Day Designer and Emily Ley. They're like comparably priced, like I said. So Emily Ley is $58. Day Designer, this bigger, is $59. The Day Designer Mini, which is just a teeny bit shorter than this, is $49. So those, I hope I covered all the main specs and important points for you guys and answered any questions you may have if you were debating these 2 planners. Here's what Day Designer looks like with all her gold tabs like out. And here is what Emily Ley looks like with all her colorful tabs out for the year. All right, guys, that's all I have for you on these 2 planners today. Happy planning, happy shopping for planners. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.